Yes, woo! And first one in person in more than a year and a half. So we'll have to see how this all works. So here's our nice little agenda. You're used to it. I'm going to have Aaron come up and give us the awesome news about the master plan. And then we'll go to some other fun things. And this is not quite working, Tom. A win for IT. Oh, there we go. This is going to get tricky. So, Tom, what's the key? It has to stay red. It has to stay red. I also have this. Whew, it's a lot of pressure. There is this we'll see. When you push the button, for some reason, and when it shows up, so don't panic when it goes free. Here's what you're going to see next. So, all right, we'll try it.
We'll see how this works. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all in person. So much better to talk to you in person than, sorry, Andrea, but to Andrea and a camera. All right, so for your master plan project update over the last month, we've been working away on the final phase of the clubhouse, or what we call the 1.8.3 renovation, which is this last part of the corridor right behind us here on the second floor, kind of the back entrance to the kitchen. We've also, I think you can see probably someone poking around on the balcony outside the northern balcony here of the Muirfield room. We're working on some balcony renovations, and then most of our work has been in the new healthcare center, or what we call 2.2. Let's see if we can change the slide here. I did.
Hey.
Tom.
Oh,
there we go. What'd you do?
I just touched it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So if you've walked by this hallway in the last few days, maybe even today, since the temporary walls are down, it looks a lot different than this picture, which was taken in the middle of last week. But this is the corridor, the last piece of the corridor that we're working on. So we're going to walk through that today and then officially turn it over and be done with the clubhouse renovation portion of the master plan project, which is a big milestone. I know that has been going on for quite some time. There we go. It's up and down, not side to side. All right, so the healthcare center, I'll take you through some photos. Exciting stuff on the third floor of the building. We're getting into finishes. So this is the new flooring that was laid down last week in the hallway on the third floor. We also have embarked upon replacing all of the existing windows. So that's a picture of what you're seeing here. We took out the old windows and old window sills and are putting in new windows, starting on the third floor, and we're working our way down to the second floor right now. Casework is going in. This is a nurse's station on the third floor of the building. Just another view at some casework there. This is one of the serveries that we're putting in. We're putting in a servery on the second and third floor. This also looks a lot different today than it did in the middle of last week when this photo was taken. We have flooring down now and actually kitchen equipment in there as of yesterday morning. So these spaces are starting to come together very quickly. This is a picture of the central bath on the third floor of the building. This is a typical resident room on the second floor. So we're again getting into installing cabinets and countertops and starting to put finishes in. Here is a typical resident room shower. And just the other side of a typical resident room restroom So the shower is behind us in this photo. And then this is standing in a typical resident room. This is on the 3rd floor. So we're getting very close to being done with the 3rd floor, and we're working 3rd floor down and working our way out of the building. That's all. Any questions on the master plan updates? All right. Thank you.
It's going to be lovely. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to be done. And we're looking for it to be done the first week in June, correct, Erin? Correct. And then if you remember, it's going to take us anywhere between 30, 60 days for us to get the license to move into the building. So once we get the license, then I think we're going to try and do it in about 2 days, move all of our residents and beds and equipment and everything over in 2 days. So we're very hopeful that it's going to be June or July, but realistically, it's probably going to be August. And then we start the current health center. As you know, the current health center becomes our new memory care, and that project, we're fingers crossed, slated to start September 1st. And that's going to be a year project. So that'll be open next fall, 2022. So with that, we're going to have Lee come up and give us a little update on marketing. The secret is up and down.
Good morning. So we wanted to just kind of give you a quick update on marketing and sales. And so first thing I want to do is just always welcome our new residents that are coming in. Actually, Connie Menzer is actually moving in right now. Her truck just arrived, so if you see her, just let her say hi. And then Burl Ciccarella is also coming in. We're not quite sure when she's moving in right now because all of her furniture is on a moving truck coming from Florida, and it's with several other people's stuff, so she's kind of in limbo, but she is enjoying some time with her daughter, and will be there until all of her furniture arrives. So we're hoping to hear from her soon, and she's hoping to see her furniture soon. So also wanted to introduce, and Natalie is my new move-in coordinator, and of course, because she is the move-in coordinator, she is coordinating a move-in right now. So hopefully you'll see her around and say welcome to her as well. And then we just wanted to bring up referrals again. We've had some really great referrals from all of you, and we want to thank you for those. And we also want to say if you have friends or family, particularly now that we're open and people are visiting us again, maybe they've never been here to see where you live and what the Friendship Village is like. So if they're here and they express some interest, feel free to stop by. Neil will be happy to send them some information about Friendship Village. We don't even have to mention your name. We'll just send them a nice package of information and they'll get it and then be able to go, oh, yes, I want to live there. So, and I already have some friends. So, we can be very open and honest and call them and say that you recommended us calling them, or we can also just send them some information in the mail. So we have lots of different ways of contacting people. So feel free to share some names if you have friends or family or people that would want to move in. The other thing I just want to say is, we know we've talked a lot about census lately, getting people to move in. We now have officially 6 people that will be moving in from now until the end of July or beginning of July. So we do have some people on the books, and Neil's got some other great people in the works. So it's opening up, and people are excited to come back and move into Friendship Village. So that's it for us this week.
Thank you. So let's talk real quick about occupancy. I know that you all have seen a lot of open apartments or future apartments. Currently, our census, as we call it, is 262 out of 304. So I know it's exciting. So we have a great opportunity to bring in some new neighbors, and we're obviously working towards that. The industry, as a comparison, obviously we would like to be in the high 90s for occupancy, but as a comparison to other communities like ours, believe it or not, we're actually doing better than they are. So it's been a hard year, as we know, for everyone. The good news, as Lee was just saying, is that we have these move-ins, but we've also hired a new sales director. Her name is Emily. She starts in 2 weeks. She comes from a community called Wesley Woods in New Albany. Is anybody familiar with it? The best thing about it is she sells life care type A. So that's usually one of the hardest learning curve pieces because life care type A is very different than a rental or other types. So we're thrilled that she's going to be joining us. And then we've also hired an additional residency counselor. Her name is Katie Huffman. Katie worked 10 years at Sunrise of Dublin and recently shifted to a community over in Polaris. So we are very happy that Katie's going to be joining us. The thing that I love about this group is they're all great human beings, and also they balance each other. So Katie has a really strong network and knows a ton of people in Dublin and in the industry, which is going to be really great to get our message out. And Emily obviously has a very strong understanding of the sales process and also life care. And they're both great human beings. So I just think that's also important. So they will all be on board the first week in May. And when we get through a couple of other things, our focus is obviously going to shift to marketing and sales and occupancy to get our numbers back up. So we're confident we can do it. We think that it's great stuff. But good things are coming. I also have to say it's so great to be in the room, and when we make a little joke, you all laugh. It's so great. So, Jeannie, come on up. It's much different than staring at a light in a room.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Let me just put my notes here. Good morning. I just want to do a little song and dance. I'm so excited to have this off, and see all your faces and be able to, for you to see mine as well. I'm here today to talk about the Village Way and our plans moving forward starting in July. So for those of you that are new to the Village Way provides our framework for all of our wellness programming throughout Friendship Village. So let's go to this is a little bit, uh-oh.
Let me help you.
Hang on. Oh, I'm going down. Okay. So the Village Way philosophy is to create a culture of vibrancy and well-being by providing a whole person approach to wellness through our 9 dimensions of wellness. And you can see those depicted here, all of our 9 dimensions with their little symbols. So as we reflect on this past year, it's really been challenging from a wellness perspective. Social interaction was limited, causing some emotional distress, isolation, and inactivity affected us physically. Closed dining venues created some nutritional challenges. Vocational opportunities were stymied due to committee meetings being canceled or just offered virtually. And also our art department and wood shop were closed for a while. Doctor's appointments were canceled or postponed. And lifelong learning presentations and music programs were limited to outside or virtually. So the only 2 dimensions I think that held steady throughout our COVID was possibly spirituality, whatever that is for you, and also our environmental, because there were a lot of walks and events held outside. But with all of that said, I am excited to move forward. You are strong and resilient, and I am super excited to renew and strengthen our commitment to wellness through our 9 dimensions of wellness. So, our plans for this next fiscal year, beginning in July, is in addition to wellness and community life offering programs, we are providing opportunities for staff and residents if you're interested to help design and implement activities and programming around each dimension of wellness, focusing on each dimension individually for 6 weeks. So our goal is to educate and engage our community in our whole person approach to wellness by implementing programs to each dimension throughout the year. So the way this is going to work is starting in July 5th through August 13th, we will focus just on the physical dimension of wellness. Now, as I say that, all dimensions of wellness are going to come into play throughout the year, but we want to do a special emphasis on each dimension during a certain period of time. So I just gave some examples of what's happening during that time frame. The Summer Olympics are going to be going on. We'll have outdoor recreation, trips and tours to outside locations. August 16th through September 24th, we'll focus on nutritional. We could have some farm to table here at Friendship Village, nutritional education opportunities, outdoor dining at Friendship Village, and trips to dining venues. Vocational from September 27th through November 5th. We'll have the holiday bazaar during that time, ongoing committee work and opportunities. Emotional from November 8th through December 17th. We will be holding our holiday celebrations during that time. The Big Give is offered during that time for charitable giving, music programs. December 20th through January 28th, we'll be having holiday celebration and religious services, some self-reflection, focus on mindfulness meditation. January 31st through March 11th, that will house our annual Health and Wellness Fair. It's National Heart Month, health and wellness presentations. Whoops, I think I skipped one. March 14th through April 22nd, lifelong learning, live speakers bringing unique perspectives. Environmental, April 25th through June 13th. We'll be planting in the gardens, outdoor walking paths, metro park trips, spring cleaning. So that takes us, actually one more, and this is our social dimension of wellness. This is the shorter one. This one's 4 weeks. So all of them will be 6 weeks. Our social will be 4 weeks, but actually the social exists throughout the entire year. So the summer picnic will be happening during that time and outdoor concerts. So again, what I've given you here is just a few examples of things on our calendar that we will be celebrating. But as we move forward, we're going to have the staff involved, really designing programs to really engage, to learn about the dimensions of wellness. And we'd love for you to be a part of that, to team up with some of our staff members if you're interested in helping with that. We love when we can work together with residents. For example, when we do our Wii Bowling, we have a blast doing that. So there'll be more information coming forward, and if you're interested, please let us know. Thanks for your time today.
All right, Jay.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you as always, every day. I love seeing your faces in the dining room. That brings such a new momentum to our job. For the last 8 months previous of opening the dining room, we saw your door. You all have wonderful doors. I want to tell you, fantastic job. I love your doorknob, top to bottom, thank you. But it's much better to see you live in person. We really, really look forward to seeing you. So the number one item on our list right now is dining room reservations. And I've heard you loud and clear, nobody likes them. However, they've become very valuable to learning process for the cooks and for the dining staff. Our goal is to eliminate them. The long-term goal is to go back to the way we used to in the legacy. The plan for doing that, we hope to do it here shortly. By that I mean probably, I'm trying to do 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks. The buffet is open. I'm going to have to say I was a little disappointed in that response. Your letter has told me more than that. Everyone has enjoyed it. We do have some growth things to do. We have some mechanical things to fix. We are looking to build up that buffet to what you recall and remember from the past. That is our goal. We have a few things here to work on, but we're getting there, all right? So the reservations, we hope to go away, okay? Well, not hope, but they will go away. It's just timing. Then the second thing, we do offer at the dinner meal, we are offering carryout. So you can come to the dining room and go through the buffet, and you can carry it right out. All right? Now, lunch and the buffet, we're testing it this week, and we're going to roll it out next week. So you'll see some, we had the salad bar open. We ran it for a little while. We tested it. We practiced it at lunch. We've seen the volume. So the volume is one of the things we're watching and making sure the temperature holds and all the logistical stuff. So we're really working on that. So that probably by next Monday, you'll see it in full gear. I do have a letter coming out, in our update that'll define the little pieces that we're moving forward. One additional thing that we are adding, we are going to start the bistro for lunch service, sit-down service. We're testing it out this week, and we're going to go full on next week. So there'll be some testing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going to mirror the schedule of the Riverwalk, so that it'll be closed on Monday and Tuesday as well. We have some little technical things that we need to work out to make it 7 days a week. That is our plan. Technical things, we got a couple computer things we have to work out, a couple staffing things. But to get it to run effectively 7 days, we got to work those little kinks out. Chef's been working very hard on menu construction. We've been working hard to make sure that we don't have lamb today and lamb tomorrow. We're working on those things. They're working together. So with that being said, we got a very aggressive plan. We want to make sure we do it properly, and we want to do it with the proper training. I want to thank a lot of you for coming up to me personally and saying how you appreciate the servers at this point. We've been putting a lot of energy into serving. A lot of them are learning. Most of them are new. You see there's about 7 or 8 that are from last year, but there's probably about 10 that are new. Molly's been fantastic. Caroline's come on strong. She's been fantastic. Christina, everybody knows Christina. She's just been continuously, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say your favorite, Anna and Lulu. I think they are just continually improving the systems every day. So my other thing that I want to add, and I'll conclude here, is that soon I want to get you into the kitchen to take a look at our beautiful finished construction in the kitchen. It's just fantastic. We got more space. We're like, is this ours? We got this silly grin on our face going, wow, this looks pretty cool. So with that being said, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll be available for questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thank you very much. All right, I think we have Tom next, who's going to give us an overview of the TV, a quick overview of the TV, and some IT stuff.
Thanks. So the first thing is, after several months of research, we've decided senior TV is going to be fine, and so we've stopped all efforts to look for... That was my one joke. I thought about that for over an hour before coming up. No, I just want to give you all a quick update. So we have been looking 4 months for a system to replace DirecTV, and basically we had 4 criteria that we started with. We wanted something that had a functional DVR system. We wanted something that we could inject channels into, like 51 in the movie channel. We wanted something that had an interactive guide. Most of you are used to interactive guides. And we wanted it to have voice control. That was optional. We wanted that to be high on the list, but it wasn't a deal breaker if it didn't. Also, as another one of those high on the list, we wanted it to run over our fiber. What we ended up with was a list of 4 companies that the TV committee, the resident TV committee, has been reviewing. And I'll give you a quick update on those 4 and where we stand now. We had senior TV in the list, primarily because they're already here. They have a pretty good TV channel lineup. Their big downfall was their DVR system didn't work. They claimed they had it ready to go. They sent it out. We actually hooked it up with a few residents. Week later, we were going to return and ask their opinion. 2 days later, they called to say, take these out. So it just, to be in summary, I think some who were here that tested it, it was not really ready for distribution on a prime time sort of a level. We had Spectrum in the lineup, thinking about going back to sort of a more traditional cable TV system. And they had a good channel lineup. However, they kind of fell short because they demanded to rewire the entire building with coax after we had just taken the coax out and put fiber in. That was not a real big draw. Also, a number of residents who had Spectrum, formerly Time Warner in the past, had significant questions about quality of service, and then once it's in, are we going to get the 4-hour window that we may or may not be at your house to fix your stuff 3 days from now? So ultimately, that one was rejected as well. So that leaves us with two systems that we're really significantly reviewing now at a much higher level. Nextera, which is a company that I believe some of you who might have been on the former committee knew. It was a front runner back then. We've invited them back to participate. And they have a DVR system. It is primarily a dish network system. So it's a well-established, well-known, the equipment, very functional. We have a demo room upstairs that the TV committee was able to go through and actually hands-on touch the devices and use the remotes, see the guides, things like that. If there's any interest in that, let me know afterwards, and we can make it more available for folks if you're really interested. It does run over fiber. It does have voice control, and it can do a whole house DVR. So it does tick all the boxes for us. And then another company called Iptv. This is a subsidiary, sister company of Touchtown. So it's nice to have those links there. It is also a more internet-based system. It's sort of different than what we have now. They can bring into your home a fully functional TV system. And right now, it is customizable by group. There's a number of things that are very interesting about it. One of the things that is it's a hiccup, obviously, is they do not bring you content. So if this were to be decided by the committee to be the next thing we want to do, we would then have to go out and either contract with DirecTV, we could contract with Spectrum, we could contract with Dish to provide the service. So this is really a delivery system with a DVR and all the bells and whistles that people have asked for, but it is primarily designed to deliver content, not have the content. So with that being said, the committee, we have one more meeting scheduled for April 29th. Hopefully we can make a final decision. At that time, we're doing a lot more from the second meeting, going back and bringing information that people had asked for to help make this final decision. But that last meeting is scheduled for April 29th. And then I wanted to switch real quickly to let you know that we believe starting in July, the IT consultation fees will start. And what that means is that basically during COVID, we realized that since no one can get out and no one can come in, IT would simply handle all the IT services for everyone regarding everything. And starting in July, if it's a Wi-Fi connectivity issue, that's us. If it's a TV issue, we'll handle that. If it's figuring out why your internet email doesn't work, that will be a charged service starting in July, and there'll be more about that in the rate letters coming out. So actual amounts to offset the change. We are also planning on having open hours where we will be in the legacy and the fireside somewhere, we haven't decided yet, where people can just bring us their devices and we will work to fix them there at no charge to anybody, to sort of split the difference. So with that, I'll turn it back to Rita.
Thanks, Tom. Let me just clarify real quick about the IT, what is the verbiage that you're using? IT consulting. So when you move in, we set up your printer and your Alexa and your iPad and your smartphone and all of those things. But I think what we found is that there are certain people who are more technologically advanced, and then there are people like me who need a little help figuring out how to work some of the technology. And Tom and Anthony and now Jordan have been spending hours upon hours upon hours in individual resident apartments helping them with their computer. And while they are incredibly willing to do so, we just need to be mindful that those hours take away from the greater good that you all have. And it's important that we have important things that we need to continue to work on. So the services will be available. There will be a nominal charge for them if and when you need those services. Cool? Excellent. Okay, Angie's gonna come up. We had a little generator hiccup 2 weeks ago. Did anybody's power go out in the middle of the day? Oh, she's gonna tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is my second live town hall. The last one, I was here 8 days. So it's pretty exciting for me. Good to see everybody's face. So we have some new people in maintenance, and we were doing some generator training. We had the generator company come in to train the staff so we could do our monthly testing. Having said that, they killed the power went out. There were a lot of places that we realized were not on battery backup on generators, so that's why we do the testing and the training. So I'm gonna talk to you about red outlets. Red outlets are emergency power. If you see those throughout the village, those will work when the power is off. So if you need to plug your phone charger in, or if you need oxygen or anything like that, that's what those red outlets are for. Those will be on battery backup or generator backup. And there will also be lights throughout the facility that will come on, emergency power. It will not be fully lit or fully powered, but just certain areas of the facility. They're going to be in the hallways. You'll see them in the hallways, and Riverstone, there are some limited. There are not any in the A and B apartments themselves, but in the hallways there will be red outlets. And the health center and Waterford, the health center and the new health center will be nearly 100% on generator backup. And Waterford, there are also red outlets in the rooms and emergency lighting as well as the hallways.
Thank you. All right, Corrine, fresh off of a vacation. She looks nice and tan, doesn't she?
Oh. Good morning, everybody. Wow, this last year, it's been quite a year, hasn't it? You haven't seen myself or my staff very often, probably, and I just wanted to say our focus this last year from the pandemic on has been on residents and the residents that we currently serve. All of our energies went to making sure that they had what they needed, as well as protecting our associates. So when I talk to my staff now, I think, boy, we really need to try to get back on track. However, we know that's going to take some time, but we're really, really excited about it. Our mission in home care services, just to review, is to help all of you, to support you as you age in place, if and when you should need our services. So we're here for you if you need us. If you don't need us, that's great. But I just wanted to let you know that we are here to help you in any way we can. Currently, we serve about 85 residents in independent living. I know that that's going to increase. Before the pandemic, we were seeing about 100. And so happy to announce that now, thanks to Jessica and her team, we're able to go back into the Waterford area and the health center and to provide some services to those residents that desire our help as well, just some supportive services. So we are really, really excited to do that, and we've already started to do that. Going forward, you're going to be hearing more about the term residential health services. And simplistically defined, I look at that as an umbrella for the health services in independent living. And under that umbrella is home care services and our health and wellness navigation services. So you'll just be hearing more about that term. And now, as things are lessening up and we have a little bit more time to do the things that we used to do, we'll be communicating more about some of those things with you. One of the goals, or a few of the goals of the residential health services, is to provide advocacy for all of you if and when you should need that. If it means helping you before you have a planned medical procedure, if it means helping you come back when you're coming back from the hospital to provide some support, as well as some educational opportunities for you to keep you nice and healthy, because that's our goal. We want to keep you as independent and as healthy as possible and be a support to you. On that note, in April, we are partnering with OSU College of Pharmacy. The professor of pharmacy is going to come to Friendship Village and have a presentation on medication safety. So we're excited about that. And we're also going to be resuming our fall prevention program. There's 4 of us here that have been certified in the Stepping On Fall Prevention Program. And that is myself, Jeannie Joseph, Mikey, and Ava, our health and wellness navigator. So we were all certified to teach those classes. However, because of the pandemic, there was a lapse where we have to become recertified. And that's great. We're going to do that this month. And then a couple months following that, we'll start those classes back up for everyone. So lots of exciting things. I'm very excited about things coming up, and I hope you will be too. So that's all I have today. Thank you.
I think Corrine and her team, everybody has had a hard year, but I think Corrine and her team have done an incredibly exceptional job taking care of all of us. So nice job, Corrine, and thank you. Angela? Doesn't it feel like you're walking down like...
I actually sprinted back up here because we're running payroll today, and Lee said, "Oh, you're a little early." Thanks, Lee. Now that I'm out of breath, appreciate it. So just wanted to give you guys a little update. We have a lot of open positions in the community, so it's been a tough year to keep and fill those positions. We've actually gotten a little creative. We've reached out, done some partnerships that we haven't done in the past, and we actually just partnered with Employers Resource Association. So they're helping tag team our process as well as supporting our recruitment externally to try to field and actually just bring in some fresh new ideas on how we can get some new associates here for Friendship Village of Dublin. So that's good. So I want to give you an update on that, and obviously be patient with our teams, be patient with our managers. It's hard to have openings. It's hard to cover for your job and somebody else's. So if you have referrals, keep passing them along. If you have ideas, stop in, see me, share those with me, and we will obviously take any of those and put them to work and get creative in any way that we can. So Part 2, I'm actually going to share today our Associate of the Month. So we started this fun little program at the beginning of the year. Tabitha, actually, who is our April Associate of the Month, is off today. How dare she take a day off, right? So we just couldn't align it, but she gave me her permission to announce her today and share with all of you a little bit about her. So obviously we know that Tabitha is a server in our Legacy Dining Room. When she was nominated, one of the cards that nominated her said she was unflappable, which I found to be very funny because part of it was she handles so much at the front. So she's dealing with calls, reservations, carryouts, and as well as just welcoming everybody into the dining room. So I thought that that was something important to share. Tabitha's been with us since 2013. You all know her well. She's actually received a few rewards with us, our Making a Difference award that she had before. So the Associate of the Month is also qualified for a parking spot. So she has right up front VIP access when she comes in. She got a little extra money in her check this week. And then she also gets some recognition, obviously, publicly with all of you. So please give her a pat on the back, tell her congratulations. And she'll go into our pool for Associate of the Year, which we'll all vote together on. So that's exciting. We also want to mention some honorable mentions. Donna Phillips, she's our cook in the River's Edge Cafe. Mikey Kostorf, our fitness specialist. Ruth Umbody, an STA in the health center. And then Sally Cohen, our plan ops specialist. So if you see them, congratulate them.
Thanks, Angela. It's so nice to have all these awesome associates that we can recognize. So Angela and Craig are doing payroll too, so we're very appreciative, and I know our associates are incredibly appreciative to get their paychecks, so that's what they're working on. Okay, so I want to just review a couple of things with you. I know we're sending you a lot of communication, but let's review about visitations. I saw in the news this morning that Franklin County is on the bubble of being in purple again. The good news is that everyone in this room has been vaccinated, so that's lovely. What they're finding in Franklin County is the people who are unvaccinated and typically younger, so the kids, the high school kids, the younger population that is not quite eligible for a vaccine or has not taken advantage of the availability, but it's only been 12 days that some people would be eligible for the vaccine. So be very mindful of that if and when you have grandkids or younger people that have not been vaccinated. We also have some variant strains that we're keeping a very close eye on. The good news is that you all got your Pfizer vaccine, and that so far has been effective against the variants that we know of. So a lot of this is we don't know what we don't know. But with regards to indoor visitation, we have communicated that you are now able to have people in your apartments. We are asking that they please show proof of vaccination and or a negative COVID test within 72 hours. We're also asking that any overnight visitors follow those parameters. We may need to change this, and we'll keep a very close eye on what's happening. But we don't want to. We know that Jeannie just talked about how this last year has impacted all of us, but we want to keep a very close eye on that for all of you. Travel, the CDC, I don't know if anybody saw the CDC recommendations about travel. And so again, we know it's summer. We all want to go and do fun things. We haven't done them in the last year. We're just asking you to be very cautious on where you're going. If you do fly, great. Let us know, and we can help you. Angie, for a nominal fee, can fit you for an N95 mask, and that might be a good option if you get on a plane or in an airport to make sure you have a good respirator mask on you. But please be careful. Please be understanding that it's there. We also want you to go have a little bit of fun with that as well. Craig is leading our efforts on the budgeting area for next year. I think you can all imagine that with occupancy at 261 out of 304, our budget, just so you're aware, is 287 out of 304. We had to sharpen our pencil for the first time in a lot of years, which I think in the big scheme of things is a huge blessing. So we have scrubbed budgets. We've gone through line items. What is extra areas that maybe we can be a little bit more fiscally responsible on. I know that you all can appreciate and understand budgets, but we are in the budgeting process. We are looking at a 4% increase like we normally do. We'll provide some more, we'll provide an overview like we normally do on a budget presentation in a couple of months, but I wanted you to be aware that we are looking at every option, and obviously occupancy across the campus is going to be important. The health center is, with the new health center and the work and the care that has been done over the last couple of years, and our partnership with COPC, we're looking forward to those options. So budget should be, we're going to review it with the finance committee, the board finance committee on Thursday, and then the resident finance committee in the next meeting. We already talked about the sales and marketing team, so we can go over that. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about Andy and Angie's promotions, which we're so happy about. I hope that over the last year you've felt that your work orders are being responded to more efficiently and in a faster response. And if that's not the case, we want to hear about that. We also have recognized that we have all these new beautiful spaces, and the hallways need a little love. The outside of the building is spectacular, as we know. And so we have found this, I think, great balance between Maintaining an asset, which is what we call the individual areas, the carpet, the walls, the doors, those are all assets. And also making sure that we can do your 7-year apartment turns at an effective pace. And so Angie and Andy, as we've communicated, are now leading those efforts for us. They both report to me. So Angie is running our, it's actually not safety, it's maintenance and compliance. So she is responsible for all of your work orders. If something doesn't work, her and her team are gonna help you get that done. And there's a couple of ways to do that. The first one is putting a work order in. You can do that electronically through the Works Hub system. You can also call the front desk. You can also call Sally. She's also gonna help us with our safety program. So knock on wood, we have great associates, and for the most part, they are very mindful of safety, but that's a huge component, right? Workers' comp, making sure that we're being responsible, making sure that we're educating people. If and when there's an emergency, your fire alarm, remember how it goes off every 2 minutes these days? Those types of things, making sure that you know what to do in the event of a fire or a tornado. I think we've done an average job in the past on this, but we're looking forward to providing a little bit more support on that. And then Andy is leading our landscaping and what we used to call as refurb or refurbishment or enhancement. And so obviously we know what landscaping is, but the enhancement would be, you'll notice that our team is now working on getting the hallways spiffed up a little bit and making sure that the paint is matching, making sure that the campus stays in this beautiful, gorgeous shape that it is now. Making sure that when you have your 7-year apartment turnovers, that those are done in an organized fashion. So we've split up this massive responsibility in that. And then Steve is still helping us. He works really closely with Aaron and Don, our owner's rep, to make sure the construction projects are working. If we would know what we know now, we would have had a position like this when we started the master plan, because the coordination of turning the water off and turning the electric off and the duct work, that's what's been happening for the fire alarm, is a duct detector in the meadows is setting off the fire alarm. Those things just take time to work through. I know. So with that, we've added another layer. Jeff is kind of our maintenance supervisor. Chris, as you know, is our security and transportation supervisor. Now under Andy, Steve Berry, who's been one of our long-standing associates, who's been in the landscape, is kind of leading the outdoor landscaping piece of the puzzle. And then Charles, who was in our landscaping, has now pivoted to be leading our enhancement efforts in the community. So I hope that if you see them, you'll give them a big high five and we can work through that. Okay, what time is it? It's question and answer time, the best part of the whole thing. What do we have? Yes, Pat.
If we have this new fiber network, why does our TV go off so often, and why is the internet always not working in the morning?
Amen. The question is, if we have this new fiber network, why does the TV not always work, and why is the internet coming in and out? And I'll let Tom answer this.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk more about TVs. By and large, the biggest reason, and one of the unspoken, I guess I forgot to mention one of the criteria because it was just mine, was that any new system is going to have a box at the TV. One of our biggest problems across the campus has always been the way the current system works. You take coax out of the wall, you just plug it into your TV, and then hope for the best. Because every TV is different, every TV's tuner is different, and when we install the system, it is a Technicolor system and it puts out a signal that is theoretically strong everywhere. Certain TVs just don't like it. And it's been primarily LGs, I will say, that we've had the most trouble with, but we've had trouble across the campus. And typically the solution has been, we put a little Technicolor box between the coax and your TV. How many of you have a Technicolor box? So at least a number of you in the room. That is basically a Technicolor box made by Technicolor. The system in our office is a Technicolor system. When we install the box, problems go away because they're compatible, which is why the new system is going to have some sort of a device before it gets into your TV to ensure that that signal doesn't have a problem. As for Wi-Fi, that is an ongoing issue and has been. We are working with Viacom to resolve it to the best of our ability.
I'm going to regret saying this, but in the Viacom process, we did sign, a 5-year contract was signed. We're getting close. I think when we can figure out this TV situation, we are also working on an IT strategic plan right now, which we've not historically had. And as you can imagine, there's all this new technology and it's all awesome, but we have to figure out and be smart about what is going to work at Friendship Village and what is going to work with each other. So in addition to a strategic plan that we're working on, the IT strategic plan is there. Wi-Fi is on that as well. The challenge with this is Wi-Fi is expensive, right? Like it's not something that's going to go away. It's only going to be more expensive as time goes. The technology is going to change, and we want to try and be mindful of that. We want to also provide some options for those people who want to have more bandwidth. There may be an additional charge for that, but those people who don't have a computer, they may be okay with the basic piece of it. The IT stuff is very exceptionally fun. What other questions do we have? Yes, Dora, sorry.
Eventually, we'll be able to invite our friends or family to have dinner with us in the restaurant. I'm sure that's way down.
So the question is, eventually, will we be able to invite our friends and family in to have a meal with us in the dining room? And the answer is yes, eventually. We are trying really hard, Jay and Aaron and Kristen and Marissa are trying really hard to open up the capacity of the dining room so that you don't have to make a reservation, so that you can feel comfortable back to the way it was and maybe even a little bit better. So that is one portion of why we don't have people in. The second one is that you don't wear a mask, and we don't necessarily know who's vaccinated and who's not, and who has an opportunity to have COVID. So yes, we cannot wait for the day that you have your friends and family back in, and we can't wait for the day that we have our marketing prospects in. So we're all excited about it, right? But it's coming. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Yes, Michelle.
When can we have the cafe back for breakfast, sandwiches, and all day 8 to 8? When can we go there and eat there and be served there?
So the question is, when can we get the cafe back to 8 to 8 and breakfast? And I think Jay can answer some of this, and I'll add some pieces as well.
Part of the planning process for the cafe, there's a lot of variables in there that are not suited for that type of dining. So a couple of the things, the area down there is not suited for cooking. It has very limited capacities down there. So the long-term plan, or the short-term plan, is to redesign the cafe to more of a cafe environment. So where it might be coffee and danishes, a simplified menu. The plan to offset that is to open up the legacy dining room for the sit-down breakfast, the weighted service type breakfast. Okay, so that plan is coming online. We got a couple other things to work out, but we do plan on having the cafe is on its way to being what it's going to be long-term, and then we're going to add new pieces to it. I know Chef's working on adding panini press down there. There is limited things we can do there, and we're going to build that menu around what we can do down there.
Why could you cook there before and now you can't cook there?
We've recently had an inspection, okay, with the fire marshal, and there's a term called grease-laden vapors, okay, and that's a term that was, again, it's the fire marshal telling us that we can't have grease-laden vapors in an environment like that without a hood system. Okay, so before it was, It was probably something that, nobody ever heard the term grease-laden vapor, and the fire marshal never inspected it. I'm not sure. But where we are today, that has been something that has been brought up and mentioned to us, so we have to alter our process in the way we operate. The question on the floor at the moment is, what about Sunday brunch? It is something we're looking forward to. We got a few things to work out. Again, a lot of this is happening. A lot of it's coming back online. It all has to do with getting our ducks in a row. Yeah, so we are moving a plan. That is one of the priorities, but like getting the cafe open is another priority, getting the bistro open, the changing, and I know everyone in this room is tired of me changing. Well, guess what? I'm tired of us changing too. We're trying to adapt to the items that you're bringing forth, and we're trying to do it collectively and responsibly. So I assure you, we are working very, very hard to get each one of these steps. The last time I heard it was, oh my, another change from culinary. So I'm trying to slow it down so that we understand it, but I'm also trying to ramp it up so that we can all dine together. So it's kind of twofold. So I apologize for this kind of two paths, but we are listening to what you're saying. The number one thing was the reservations, and number two is getting the buffet keeps circling around. We do want to get the Riverwalk open 7 days a week. We want to get the cafe open so you can kind of sit down there, but it's not. It's still a little styrofoamy, and we're getting a little still tired of styrofoam. So we're moving in that direction. So I assure you, back to the question about what's the status of the buffet. Again, we still have to get 7 days in the Riverwalk. We have to get our buffet up and running and fully, and we have to make sure that we're operationally effective so that we can serve 160 residents in the Legacy. That's been the number. Chef and I were talking this morning. The number before COVID was about 140 to 160 for dinner. Last night we did 125. Just to show you we're making progress. We were at 70 about 2 weeks ago. We ramped up a little bit with the buffet opening, and now we're at 125 as of last night, and that's with the Riverwalk not open. So our numbers are getting up. We're getting there. We've also increased the amount of residents that we're having reservations for. That'll be 90 at dinner. We've expanded some of our dining spaces into the back there. So we're watching this week. Numbers are growing, and we're improving.
All right, last question. Yes, Mort. The,
Four icons on it: maintenance, IT, ESS, and guest room reservation. And right now, there's only two of those icons on the current record workload. The impression I had was that it was already in place.
So the comment is that in the town hall last month, we talked about how the electronic version of WorkTub that you go on and with your computer, your phone, your tablet has four icons. One is maintenance, second is ESS, third is IT, four is guest rooms, and only two, which I probably are maintenance and ESS, are maintenance and IT are on there. So we need to, add ESS and IT.
I'm going to go in and look when I get back from town hall, but it sounds like just a setup issue. There might be a box that's not checked. So as soon as I get back, we'll check on that for you.
Thanks for bringing that up. All right, I think we have time for one more question, if we have one more. Yeah, Pat.
My understanding of the master plan is it goes through the memory care. Are you working on a new master plan, and does it include infrastructure?
Gee, mini Christmas, can we finish this one first? So the comment was the master plan includes memory care, and are we working on a new master plan that includes infrastructure? I have gray hair from the master plan. So Yes, actually, believe it or not, the master plan is very much operational, and we are working on figuring out what the next steps are. So one thing I love about Friendship Village and our board is that they've always been very strategic, right? So every couple of years, there's a new project, there's a new construction project. And so that is also happening right now. I can't really talk about it, but you will be excited about it in the coming months. When you say infrastructure, what do you mean by that? Windows and plumbing is happening, actually. Angie and Andy have been working on windows, especially, and I think it's north-facing, correct? It's north-facing windows. It's in the capital budget for next year. In addition to, likely, we were going to try and do 4 floors of north, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but it's looking like we're just going to be able to do 2 floors from a budget perspective. Plumbing, I'm not sure. The plumbing's a little bit harder because it goes into the actual building, but the next master plan, several years from now, 5, 7, who knows how long that will be, will include some demolition of some parts of our community to build new pieces of the puzzle. So, but windows are on our radar, and if there's specific plumbing issues, Angie can talk with you on that. Okay, hey, this might have been the highlight of my whole month. So thanks for coming to Town Hall. Thanks for playing along, and we appreciate all of you. Have a great day.